What is up, peeps? Hope we're all doing well. Welcome back to Guy vs. Girl News, and we got some big stuff for all of you. Some breaking news out there as the head of YouTube Gaming, formerly Fwiz, has now officially left, which is pretty crazy. The last time we actually sat down, we were watching a podcast of his about the future of Web3. Ironically so, that's exactly why he has left YouTube.
This leads into his tweet early this morning where he said, "It is bittersweet news to share that I am leaving YouTube. I have loved every minute of my time here, but it is time for my next endeavor. I am elated to announce that I will be joining Polygon as their CEO of Polygon Studios. Thank you for the memories."
And this was absolutely mind-blowing. A ton of people out there giving their praise and, of course, their thanks.
A ton of popular people also in the esports world.
Yes, it goes to show you the transparency he had as the head of gaming at YouTube is one that we have really not seen by other platforms in the gaming and streaming space. I mean, all of your top creators, we got Courage, we got Doc, we got Nadeshot, Hector, Rodriguez, or Hex.
Valkyrie.
I mean, everyone has said their thanks to someone who has meant so much to YouTube gaming. So this was just, I mean, it was crazy big news.
Also, I would say kind of a shock. I don't think that anyone was thinking that he would be leaving anytime soon. So I actually saw the tweet before you. I was just like, I couldn't even speak because I was just completely in shock.
Yeah, when Alex first got the news, she just goes, "Oh," and I was like, "What? Well, what's happening?" She goes, "Fwiz," and I was like, "Fwiz freaking what?" And then next thing you know, she had already tweeted about the news.
I got there before you.
But either way, here's what Fwiz had to say, at least part of it. You guys can go check out the full thing as he thanks YouTube for a great adventure.
He went on to say, "I will miss YouTube dearly, but it is time for me to pursue other endeavors in life and where my passions are taking me. I am fascinated by blockchain app development and am beyond thrilled to enter the Web3 space. I am elated to announce that I will be joining Polygon Technology as their CEO of Polygon Studios." I actually found this really interesting because he actually did a podcast or interview rather with Delphi Digital a while ago. And he actually, the whole thing was about Web3, blockchain gaming, NFTs. And it was interesting because at that time, I mean, this must have been in the works or he must have been thinking about
100%,
it.
100%.
And it's, I mean, he spoke really highly of it. And we actually have a little clip for you guys to hear how excited he was about Web3.
I can sell this item on a marketplace and I can liquidate it in USD. Like that is a technically possible thing without the blockchain. But nobody's doing it. It's not happening. And so therefore, I'm like really interested in the blockchain because they are doing it. They are developing it. It is happening over there. And so like you can kind of go back and forth on like the technological ability to get something that's close to resembling blockchain gaming. But the fact of the matter is no one's doing it. And those that have attempted to get close to it haven't really done it right. So I kind of was like, okay, for me as a gamer, I like spending money on games that I care deeply about. I like the idea of being able to participate early in games. Like if I think like, imagine, you know, Valorant in season 1, I buy a skin that like doesn't come back in the marketplace. The game grows. I get to kind of grow with it and in the economics with it. And so that's where I really started to get fascinated in this space because you saw people that kind of shared the same vision and actually wanted to figure out the complexity of these dynamics. And so it was very easy for me to see and then be like, yeah, I know we can technically do it, but nobody is doing it. And so let's like ride this wave because you have a lot of people that are enthusiastic about this perspective and making it work.
And so obviously that makes a ton of sense. We actually sat down to listen to that entire podcast. And then a week or so later, he has now announced his leaving of YouTube coming in February to join a company in Polygon Studios who is fully based around Web3 and all of those things surrounding it, which I'm sure he's going to do great things with Polygon, and including which Polygon, a little description for all of you guys, and where he'll be the head of all things gaming, fashion, news, sports, esports over there, which sounds pretty exciting.
And just to give you guys a little background on it, Polygon is an energy-efficient Ethereum scaling solutions for Web3 developers. So as you can see, this is Web3. This is kind of what he's been thrilled to do. I'm kind of excited to see where he can take this. But also, this brings me back to YouTube. You know, YouTube has some huge shoes to fill.
Huge. It's crazy.
Which is nuts. And I don't know how they're going to do it because he has been such an integral figure in this space that I don't really know how they can find someone to replace him.
Yeah, I could take this a couple directions because not only one, you look for 100 Thieves. Jackson Dahl, their former member who was widely loved and of course one of the initial founding members of 100 Thieves, he left 100 Thieves for a Web3 company. Now we have the head of YouTube Gaming leaving for a Web3 company. Clearly some smart minds out there see it as the future, and yes, it's very debatable. It can be questionable at times. There's a lot of questionable things, which Fwiz admits to even in that interview, in that podcast. There's a lot of questionable projects out there. I can almost certainly say that he doesn't want to be tied to questionable projects, and he wants to integrate gaming and NFTs, which we know is hairy, but with someone like Fwiz at the helm of Polygon, Polygon. It's super exciting.
And I think he makes note of this actually in his interview. He even stated, you know, blockchain gaming, this is the Wild West right now. We are in a brand new frontier, haven't explored it before. But the interesting thing is, will he be now kind of a founding father? In other words, because he is on the brink of something that could be huge. I mean, he talks about how blockchain gaming is kind of, I don't want to say in a rough patch, but it's really still being developed. It's not fully there yet. So it'll be interesting to see how far Fwiz can take us into that realm and see, are we going to be living in Web3 pretty soon? So with that in mind, we want to say thank you guys for listening and good luck to YouTube and good luck to Fwiz. We know he's awesome, so he can only go farther in his endeavors. Juan Ka will say, what do you guys think?
Until next time, bye-bye.
Woo!